I've answered from the dead. I've gone back. I've been humiliated, fucking this and that, kicked out, lost. Like, dude, like, am I still going to be doing it? Like, do I want to do this? I had things going on in my fucking personal life. And, I just absorbed all that, bro, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I finally got to a good remedy, a recipe where it's time to eat now. And I have no fucking mercy putting this pain on people to get paid, So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm in the fucking zone. It's no disrespect to anybody. Punching bag, body bag, put a fucking toe tag on it. People act like this is the first time or me coming back. Motherfucker, I got multiple knockouts. Left hook, right hand, uppercut, elbow, fucking spinning back fist, head kick, flying knee. I told you, I crawled out that well, like The Ring, that movie, right? I was at the bottom of that fucking well. I crawled out that motherfucker, and they had the cement over the top of the lid, dude. I had to crawl out there, bare knuckle, really prove my fucking worth, put my shit on the fucking line. And now I'm getting all my tools back. And it's just going to be fucking havoc on these motherfuckers. 4 weeks, dude. And I get to create myself another opportunity, to do this in the game and be doubted, counted out, written off, like everybody's surprised. Well, that's because you thought I was fucking dead. You left me for dead. I'm the only one not surprised, but I needed that. It's like Michael Jordan in the Save the Last Dance. He's like, I was out at dinner. The coach, he turned his shoulder on him. He's like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Always one of my favorite guests to speak to. And it's funny, when we spoke after he broke Eddie Alvarez's jaw, he said, you know what, maybe I'll go back to the UFC. And guess what? He's back in the UFC fighting in his hometown, Des Moines, Iowa, in just a couple weeks' time. It is always my great pleasure to catch up with Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy, how are you?
Chilling, man. Life's good, dude.
I appreciate taking time as always. Do you remember, like, we talked right after the Eddie Alvarez fight, and I remember you saying, like, we were talking about free agency, and you said, you know what, I've always been open to going back to the UFC, go there, maybe knock out Connor, go back to the old stomping grounds. So here you are, back in the old stomping grounds.
Yeah, that's it, man. Manifesting, dude. Doing what I'm saying, what I'm putting out there. Delusions to reality.
So obviously when we spoke, you were officially a free agent. So how did this actually happen? Like, did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? Like, how did this come together? Because I think it surprised everybody when it actually happened.
Man, I never got cut from UFC. I decided to go around, search life outside of there. And I felt like there was kind of maybe a little bit of bad blood there. And, like I left, all good with like Dana, like, and things like that, from the shove. I spoke about this on the Jackson podcast. And, I just wanted to explore my options. I took a 1 second.
No problem.
I took a risk, and it was my wife basically. She's always like, man, you should be like, I watch UFC and seeing some guys on there, and I'm like, dude, like, I could knock that dude out who knocked that dude out, and I'm like, dude, I could still be there. It was kind of like always in the back of my mind. And a brother of mine, rest in peace, Anthony Johnson, a guy I looked up to. He took a route outside of there, came back UFC, had some really good paydays and some a title fight. And my wife, she was just like, hey, why don't you reach out to Dana? And I was kind of like, I'm like, I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? Like, why not? Like, dude, I've drug myself out of the ring well this far. Like, why not just keep going? Why not shoot my shot? And I took a shot. I said, hey, you know what, babe? I was like, write up a message and I'll send it to him. And I don't think I had his number. I used to have like his old number or something. I shot him on like Instagram. And, I went to Des Moines, which is funny, like all week, went back, handled some business, got to see some family and just be around town. Everybody just, real happy, like bare knuckle. That's crazy, this and that. They're like, dude, you should be on the Des Moines card, and I was like, yeah, I shot Uncle Dana a message. And then, the day I was leaving is like, he got back to me and was like, hey, man, I didn't have your number. I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I'll have Hunter get a hold of you, and then it's funny because I was leaving Des Moines. I was supposed to go to Denver, but my flight gets pushed over it got like pushed back, got delayed. It ends up going to Vegas. And I'm like, dude, I might be in the big boy office tonight, but, I got off the port, plane there and, they started talking to Hunter and, kind of putting it into reality. And it was just kind of crazy how it all kind of came together. But I'm like, bro, this isn't far off from what I've been doing, my years of hard work. I'm able to talk to the Godfathers. They give me an opportunity, a one-off deal, and it's a really good deal too, because like again, I go in there and I handle business and commit another murder on May 3rd in my hometown. It's just more buzz, more rivalry. I'm staying active the way I wanted. I sat out last year when I was completely active, and now it's just God's timing, trusting in it, and everything's going to according to plan. And I don't forget about the dark days, been sat out. Keep that kind of chip on my shoulder. Really go in there and prove to myself that I belong there. I can still compete at a very high level, and I'll be a real dangerous person doing it.
I love it. I love when the announcement came out. Like everyone was so like surprised, but they were also excited because when you think of Iowa, you think of Jeremy Stevens and UFC going to Iowa.
Thank you.
Like if there was one missing piece of the puzzle, it's like, yeah, but wouldn't it be cool to have Jeremy Stevens on that card? I love that they made it happen. Listen, you fought all over the world, but no matter where you go, no matter where you train, every time we talk, every interview we've ever had, you bring up Iowa. So like, how special is it that your homecoming is not just going back to the UFC, but it's literally in your home?
Yeah, I'm always focused and dialed in to wherever I go. I bring 515 to Brazil. My last fight, I always thought there's nobody that represents the 515. I'm the best to ever do it out of Des Moines, Iowa, man. And it's like I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Des Moines people get a like just be the flyover state, and why doesn't it ever come here? It's been like 17, 18 years in the making to come here, and I'm on the card. It's just, it's the right timing. Des Moines, man, they're gonna love this, dude. I mean, what you're gonna see on the TV and how Des Moines brings it. It's exciting fights. There's some great matchups on the card, which is tremendous, and it's a great time. It's a great city. I mean, man, it's gonna be lovely, dude. It's gonna be something beautiful. I can't wait to actually just really see it. What I manifested into reality. It's gonna be beautiful. I can't explain it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember I listened to your interview and you were talking about like when you left the UFC, you were kind of in a bit of a dark place. You'd come a couple losses, and obviously that Drakkar Close thing happened. And you just said you weren't in the best headspace. Obviously, you went out and did your own thing, and then this ride you're on with BKFC, riding high off the Eddie Alvarez knockout, beating him, and literally becoming one of the faces of BKFC. How much different in terms of like your headspace are you right now versus like that last fight in the UFC? Do you feel like it's like night and day in terms of where your head's at?
Yeah, 100%, man. A huge shift. I had to go through it, grow through it to get through it. It takes timing. I've done a lot of inner work. I've spoken about this, like how I've really gone mentally, setting boundaries, reading books like a goddamn animal to, I'm always like, one thing about me and Jeremy Stevens is like Charles Darwin. It's not the strongest or the smartest, it's the person willing to adapt to change. I've been able to kind of reinvent myself over and over, uh, and make the adjustments. And I just feel in a way different headspace, man. I had life things hit me that, I don't choose to talk about or anything like that. I'm a fighter, bro. Ever since I was 16, it's how I provide for my family. I was going through a certain period, and I had to go through those dark places, because a tree doesn't stand tall if it doesn't have like the roots deep down in the dark, and I felt like it created me to be like an authentic villain. It riled me the fuck up. Like, dude, like, who the fuck are you? Really, that was a great question because I've answered from the dead. I've gone back. I've been humiliated, fucking this and that, kicked out, lost. Like, dude, like, am I still gonna be doing it? Like, do I want to do this? I had things going on in my fucking personal life, and I just absorbed all that, bro. The good, the bad, the ugly, and I finally got to a good remedy, a recipe where it's time to eat now, and I have no fucking mercy putting this pain on people to get paid. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm in the fucking zone. It's no disrespect to anybody. Punching bag, body bag, put a fucking toe tag on it. If people act like this is the first time or me coming back, motherfucker, I got multiple knockouts. Left hook, right hand, uppercut, elbow, fucking spinning back fist, head kick, flying knee, and like I told you, I crawled out that well, like the Ring, that movie, right? I was at the bottom of that fucking well. I crawled out that motherfucker, and they had the cement over the top of the lid, dude. I had to crawl out there, bare knuckle, really prove my fucking worth, put my shit on the fucking line, and now I'm getting all my tools back, and it's just gonna be fucking havoc on these motherfuckers. 4 weeks, dude, and I get to create myself another opportunity, to do this in the game and be doubted, counted out, written off, like everybody's surprised. Well, that's because you thought I was fucking dead. You left me for dead. I'm the only one not surprised, but I needed that. It's like Michael Jordan in the Save the Last Dance. He's like, I was out at dinner. The coach, he turned his shoulder on him. He's like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
I love it. Now, Jeremy, obviously we talked a lot during your BKFC career and for all the things you've done. I mean, again, you started mixed martial arts, of course you did boxing, you've done other things as well. And I said to you very openly, I said, man, if there was one guy who's built for bare knuckle, it is Jeremy Stephens. And I know you said coming out of the Eddie Alvarez fight, of course, you were open to all options, which is exactly how this UFC deal came about. Can I ask, like I said, kind of a two-part question? One, was there, I don't know what kind of conversations you had with them afterwards in terms of like them bringing you back. There's no way they didn't want to bring you back. Now, to be fair, had you not been a free agent, this UFC deal may not have come along. And do you still hope to, maybe eventually go back to BKFC? Because it feels like you still have a home there.
Yeah. This, I'm just creating more options for myself, man. Like I said, dude, I don't have any bad blood over there with BKFC. We tried to get a hold of Feldman, get in contact, and I wasn't gonna wait for the like no response or anything. I got to create, dude. No, none of them. Like, I'm paying my own bills. Like, I got to create my own opportunities. The fact that I can just go do this here in May, make an opportunity, have a payday. Yeah, I love BKFC. Like, no one's fucking with me in BKFC, and I think there's some fights there. And it's like, are you willing to pay me my worth that I put in? If not, like I gotta take care of this family, bro. I'm still active, still healthy. Like, I want to compete. UFC was it's just a stop of opportunity, bro. Like, I'm creating I don't have contracts with any of these people. Like, I kind of love this, because like, people know what they're getting with me. They know they're getting hell of a scrap and hell of a performance, what I do. And, BKFC, when it comes to bare knuckle, I don't think, King of the Barbarians is home. I was asking for that, Mike Perry fight, Connor, he talked about like he wants to come over, but those guys ain't really serious. Like, I'm actually like, okay, you serious, or which route do we got to go? And obviously I got to keep putting in work. I'm going to keep fucking showing up, being in everybody's faces. Like, it's going to be my year, bro. You're just going to hear Jeremy Stephens all across the fucking board. And, I want to fight for a company that's just going to keep me busy and let me create my own opportunities, because I don't have to prove my worth. I already know what I'm capable of and doing things, and, to sell out the show, crack a fucking jaw, and go out there, bro. When they put 2 million on Eddie, come on, bro. Like, it's time. I feel like I deserve them paydays too, right? I mean, I think the MMA people are around the globe is starting to recognize who the fuck I really am, and I'm still out here doing it and just creating opportunities for myself, bro. I don't rely on nobody. I'm my own man, making my own way.
Absolutely. Now, to that point, I know that you said very openly, like going back to the UFC was a one fight deal, which once again kind of puts you in a great position because you go out and you wreck Mason Jones. And once again, you're the hottest free agent in the sport. And I know we talked before about like when you said like I'm open to going back to the UFC. Of course, the Conor McGregor thing was out there because he still actually has fights left in the UFC before he could do anything else. So, is there a world where you go out, you knock this guy out on May 3rd, you win in Des Moines, and you stay in the UFC? Is that an option, or is that something you would be open to?
Yeah. I want the delusion fight, bro. I want the big fight, bro. I'm the guy, bro. I'm gonna undoubtedly May 3rd have a fucking dominant, shocking, piercing performance. That's just gonna. I'm gonna make sure that I'm undeniably the number one dude for the biggest bag, bro. Whether that's Connor or BKFC with fucking Perry, that's one hell of a fight, bro. Like, fucking pay me my money, run it. Like, like April's coming around, May's coming around. Like, I don't hear from these guys. Like, you guys really want to do this or what? So, hey, listen, I got an opportunity May 3rd to go out there and do what the fuck I do, bro, in a devastating fashion, brilliant performance in front of my hometown too, bro. Like, just that energy that you're gonna see on fucking TV. I'm gonna blow the numbers and the roof off that fucking place, dude. And then I'm gonna go march on and fucking and keep threatening these dudes to take their fucking life. And that's the delusion fight is Conor McGregor. There's no one out there who's really putting themselves out there like me. We got some fucking serious history there. I know he's got 2 fights, or he kind of wants to retire. I'm gonna keep showing up, bro, and keep fucking pursuing down that road until I fucking retire with multi-millions, bro. And I'm like, I fucking told you.
I feel like you're the guy, like you, as you said, you kind of, you turn dreams into reality, you manifest everything. But the reality is, like, we all have kind of have questions about Connor because now he's talking about running for president of Ireland. He's kind of doing all this kind of stuff. Like, do you actually think we'll see Connor fight again? Like, is there, like, I don't know. There seems to be a lot of doubt right now whether he's actually going to fight again.
I don't know. There's a lot of time in between there, bro. I kind of keep in the back of my head to kind of chasing that type of red panty night, right? I deserve it, but I really know that I can fucking just rearrange his jaw, rearrange his fucking legs, and break him. I think we're like the perfect fight, whether he's there or not, bro. I mean, like time marches on. Like I'm still like that's the delusion, right? I want these big paydays, bro. I'm fucking putting in the time, bro. That's why I'm out here putting myself out here risking it, taking the fucking risk, putting it out there for the fans. Like, hopefully you guys are really capturing like what I'm doing, bro. I ain't waiting for no man. I'm creating my own opportunities. I love these delusions of these fights with Perry, scary fights. I got to move up in weight class against a heavy banger. No one else is calling him out. I can go do my thing, and damn, dude, like Connor and Jeremy, they kind of like. I mean, bro, like I'm just kind of I'm real fucking delusional here, but I keep that in the back of my mind. That's what gets me up when I don't want to work. Is when the lights come on. How are you going to show up? How's your performance? I've already kind of gone through the simulation. I fucking just fucked up Alvarez right in front of him, and then I'm like, hey, I'm promoting over there. I'm gonna go fuck up this dude, and I'm gonna do the same fucking thing. I've already got the simulation. I know how to go through this. I know how to channel this. Like I'm the fucking core. My mindset's intact, dude. Like no one's fucking beat me, bro. I'm literally just making this fucking shit up as I go along. And it's kind of funny how it's like it's into reality now. Everybody's starting to get it. I'm creating this. I'm doing this. Like I wilt this into fucking existence. There's no one else out here doing it like me, bro. I've earned bragging rights now.
Yeah, and it seems like there's one guy, like, because when you did the BKFC fight, like Connor openly said, like he wanted to fight. If there's a guy that could draw him back, guy who could lure him back, maybe it is the Jeremy Stephens. Like maybe that's the way he finally comes back, as he gets to fight you.
Absolutely, bro.
But
I think too in UFC, and like I like it because like I think he'll be the favorite. They kind of they want him to kind of come back and win, and just like it just won't happen with me. It's just like Alvarez. They're fuck up a lot of nights. They know that I have proof. I'll go to Dublin, Brazil. Like I think it's I'm creating something here, bro. Something stewing. And it's just taking time. Let old butt cheeks Connor, cocaine Connor do his thing. Let him run wild. In the meantime, bro, I'm just gonna keep whooping ass, keep showing up as number one, and eventually, bro, like if the opportunity comes, I put myself in line by action, not just fucking talking and being a social media clown. Like I'm out here fucking doing it, breaking jaws, snapping bras, dude. It's just what I do.
absolutely. Now, Jeremy, I remember I can't remember, it was a couple fights ago. We talked before a fight, and I was talking about doing bare knuckle, doing boxing, and you said, you know what? Those are my sports right now, but I think you were coming right out of a wrestling practice at the time. You're like, I'm still training. Like, I didn't ever get away from that. Now, this is like maybe a year ago. Now, one side of me says, man, Jeremy, you look so good at bare knuckle. Like, man, I just love watching you sling hands. But your history is mixed martial arts. Now, is there a challenge going back here? Because, and you could say your striking is dangerous as it's always been. I think you've actually gotten better because you focus so much on your boxing and your bare knuckle. Would you say that, like, going back into UFC in this fight, like, you may actually be more dangerous because everyone's saying, oh, well, you got to go back to wrestling, you got to go back to jiu-jitsu. I know you never stopped doing that. It just wasn't what you were fighting at that point. But in a way, do you feel like you're even more dangerous now because your hands have gotten even better, which is kind of scary to think because that was always one of your most dangerous weapons. But for the last couple of years, you've really focused on your hands.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel just what I've learned over these past few years is really going to come to display without giving too much. I stay in the mix. People really know who I am. They know I have a lot of tools. I got great wrestling. It's just putting it all together with the mindset. I've been submitted. Then I've gone where Frankie Edgar couldn't fucking take me down, or I get up, or Charles Oliveira couldn't submit me. And it's like when I'm in the right place in the right mind frame. I've been starved from these tools for so long. I've always kind of stayed in the realm, helping people out around the gym, and now I get them all back. To me, it's just I'm in a really good, happy, fun place with it. I love it, dude. My head kicks, my knees, like everything's still there, hasn't gone anywhere. So it's like I get a chance to go out there and display more devastating fashion and bring in the skill what I've learned in boxing. One of the guys I'm really watching now is that Ilya Taporia. He definitely reminds me of someone of myself. Very very sharp with the hands, goes low with those kicks. Is able to mix it up. He's got really good jujitsu and grappling, good head movement. I think time management, just good balance, like everything that I've learned in boxing. I think is really going to cross over here, and it's going to make me a lot more deadlier, a lot more sharper, and I'm going to be putting some fucking lights out real quick. If you make a mistake.
Yeah, and I know, listen, it's all about being in the right place. And I know, listen, you never go out there and half-ass it. You've never been a guy to go out there and give anything less than 100%. But it kind of feels like the momentum you're riding right now, there's a different Jeremy Stephens we're about to see in this UFC fight. Like, again, I know you had fights in the PFL. Obviously, you had a lot of fights in the UFC. But I think about peak Jeremy Stephens, those moments where you go out there and rock the world, main event fights. And even though I know technically this isn't the main event, this is the people's main event, Jerry. You're fighting, I love Corey Sandhagen and Devison Figueroa. This is not a knock on them, but you're fighting in Iowa. Like, you're going to get the reception. And it feels like these, just like the Eddie Alvarez fight, these are the moments you live for. These are the moments when you really explode, when you really excel.
Yeah, the real fucking main event. Yeah, yeah, man. Listen, I had to walk through fire in Philly, get shit on by my promoters and just have fucking Pussy Pfeiffer and all these dudes fucking just try to wring me through the mud and just stay focused and do my thing. It allowed me to really just now I'm getting all the love and I'm getting all this, and it's like, nah, man, this is still a fight, bro. A crowd doesn't you don't let it come into that, bro. If Caitlin Clark from Iowa, man, she had a lot of fans. I mean, but just that dialed in focus, and I'm really bringing that. And I was gonna bring their energy regardless. I love it, but I think they know who the real fucking main event is and what's really coming to the table, and they're excited, bro. I'm the best to ever do it out of Iowa, hands down, dude. And it's gonna feel good walking through Philly to come over to Iowa, get that support, that love. But in the meantime, bro, it's just tunnel vision till I get that fucking dude out of there and the job's finished and I'm doing a victory speech and screaming 515, going absolutely ape shit.
Talk about night and day. We talked about like the reception you got in Philly. You literally had to walk through fire there and deal with that. Now it's like literally the exact opposite. You're going to be in Iowa. You're going to be the star. The crowd's going to, I mean, I'm excited for the walkout. I know you're going to be focused and thinking about knocking out Mason Jones, but I can't wait to see the walkout. Just hear that crowd erupt when you walk out there, because I know it's going to be a special moment. Because again, talk about totally polar opposites, man. Go from Philly for your last one and now in Des Moines.
Getting goosebumps, dude. I mean, this is just crazy. You can't make this up, dude. This is why I'm just real certain in myself, certain in life, certain that I'm glad I didn't give up, especially in the dark struggle. And there's times where hey, Jeremy Stephens has had a hell of a career, bro. Congrats, dude. You got multiple knockouts, this and that. And it's like, there's just something. There's a desire, and that desire comes from me wanting better of myself. I'm always just demanding it. I love the challenges, bro. And it's just like, man, you cannot make this up. I've stuck around to this, like God's timing, trusting in God's alignment. In the 515, if you throw a dart in the middle of Des Moines, it's the heart that pumps. I mean, dude, you can't make this up. It's just incredible. I'm excited, bro. It's training my ass off. I'm making sure that I leave no stone unturned, and I can't wait to go up there, and it's going to be for all of us, bro. It's going to be a huge celebration, a grand celebration, amazing moment in time, and we're going to do really well in Des Moines. I can't wait. 515 all day, baby.
Absolutely. I'm so happy for you, man. Like, as soon as I heard the news, I texted your manager right after. I was like, is this real? Is it actually happening? Jeremy's points. So, man, I'm so happy for you, man. This is going to be such a special homecoming for you and such a cool moment. So, as always, man, I know we go back a lot of years. Thank you for always taking the time for me. Obviously, have a great rest of your training camp. Safe travels back home to Iowa. I cannot wait. I'm going to get goosebumps. I can't wait for that moment to see you walk out in front of that Iowa crowd. And thank you as always for the time, man. Cannot wait for May 3rd.
Yeah, damn, I can't wait till we're talking afterwards, brother, talking about some other shit, bro. It's going to be a good year, man. So appreciate you always showing me the love, giving me the time, man. You're my dude, bro. So God bless. I'll see you soon, big dog.